Peppa Pig has been on the air for more than 20 years, and because of that, a lot of people want to know what the final episode of the series will be like. Are you ready to say goodbye to the most famous little pig in the world? Sick. One of the darkest theories about Peppa's future is about George becoming very sick. This theory gained popularity in the middle of the series, when a long time had already passed and George still wasn't saying anything besides dinosaur. People started thinking he had some kind of difficulty communicating because of a condition affecting his brain. Of course, now he's growing up and saying more things. The problem is that, as you already know, George isn't hearing very well anymore. If he didn't speak very well before, now it's the little pig's ears that are failing him. Could he eventually lose his eyesight or his other senses? That's very possible. The theory says that, in the end, George will become sick and lose his senses. In that case, he would serve as a message about how important it is to play and enjoy life before your time runs out. Wow, that's really sad. Hopefully it doesn't happen, but if it does, you heard it here on our channel first. We still have more theories to show you today, so grab your popcorn and get comfy on the couch. Another Cinewave is starting. Goodbye! One thing that will definitely happen in the future is Daddy Pig and Mummy Pig passing away. And yes, that's a pretty heavy thing to talk about, but it's not like we don't already know that's a possibility. You've probably noticed that Peppa has a habit of putting her parents in dangerous situations. One of the biggest examples was when she somehow got Mummy Pig to go skydiving without any training, and on top of that, Daddy Pig fell out of an airplane without a parachute and barely avoided getting seriously hurt. The theory says that at the end of the series, the protagonist's parents suffer some terrible accident that takes them from this world. Wow, now that's a really dark theory. Divorce. You've probably noticed that Mummy Pig and Daddy Pig's marriage isn't exactly great, right? This theory about the end of the series says that the two of them will separate and never see each other again. Mummy Pig treats her husband very badly. On Father's Day, she forgot that it was Daddy Pig's special day. As a gift, the poor guy got a disgusting cereal and ketchup cake, which is terrible. On top of that, Mummy Pig said that Father's Day isn't an important holiday, not to mention that she even laughs at the super rude jokes Peppa makes about his weight. After spending so much time being mistreated without any support from his wife, Daddy Pig may finally get tired of it and leave. Will this be the ending? Let's hope not. Mr. Wolf. Out of everything Daddy Pig goes through, one of the most terrifying possibilities for the end of the series could be what Mr. Wolf wants for him. In the episode The New House, Peppa's dad is building a house for the Wolf family. That day, we discovered that Mr. Wolf's dream is to devour Peppa's entire family. Of course, everything Mr. Wolf says is a reference to the story of the Three Little Pigs, where the wolf is the villain. And for the end of the series, if the ending turns out to be tragic, we could see Mr. Wolf blowing down the pig's house and hunting Daddy Pig. And the moral of the story would be about the importance of knowing how to build a house to escape the dangers that exist out there in the world. If this is true, the series itself warned us a long time ago about what was going to happen. Narrator. Have you ever noticed that the narrator could actually be George? Let's think about it. Peppa's little brother is the character who speaks the least in the show, but he's always there watching everything that happens. The clues in the series could show that the narrator is in the future and is telling his family's story to his children. It actually makes sense because other cartoons have done the same thing, and Peppa Pig comes from an era of animated shows that followed this formula. One example is the cartoon Caillou, where the narrator is the protagonist's sister telling the story of the family. In this case, George would be the last member of the pig family that we know who is still alive, and he would be telling the story of the life he shared with his sister. That would be a dramatic ending, don't you agree? Would you like to know who the narrator in Peppa Pig really is? Comment the hashtag Peppa so we can get to know you. Miss Rabbit. Miss Rabbit is a character that everyone sees as the hardest working person around. But what if she takes over the world and turns every character into her employee? Let's show how this is already happening. Miss Rabbit is the boss of the biggest businesses in Peppa's universe, which means that everyone who works there is her employee. But Miss Rabbit is also in charge of the clothing stores and supermarkets. That means the people who work for Miss Rabbit spend their salaries on the things she sells. In other words, it's impossible to escape Miss Rabbit, and the ending of the series could be her controlling the entire planet while every character works for her. What do you think about that? Humans. One of the biggest mysteries in Peppa Pig is what happened to all the humans, because the only ones we know about are Santa Claus, the Queen, and Redbeard the pirate. But what about everyone else? Where are they? Our theory is that the ending of the series will solve this mystery, with humans returning and trying to take back planet Earth. Maybe humans are living in space or on a mysterious island, and when they return, they'll want their cities back. Will there be a conflict? Of course there will. Evie and Peppa. One thing that could happen at the end is Peppa leaving and letting Evie become the main character. It might sound crazy, but it's really not that hard to imagine. Aunt Dottie and Mummy Pig are sisters and grew up in the same town, but only one of them still lives there. Apparently, this could be an important tradition in the Pig family, and Peppa may end up moving somewhere else. Since she loves traveling and visiting different cities around the world, our little piggy may grow up and realize that her place isn't in the English countryside, and in that case, Evie would become the new main character. Do you like that idea? Pedro. Did you know that Peppa has a crush on Pedro Pony and has even given him a little kiss on the cheek? In the episode School Play, Peppa kisses her classmate on the cheek, and at the time it seemed like nothing more than an innocent gesture. Then came the episode The Future, where she tells Suzie that she's going to marry him. This could very well be the ending of the series, where they get married but never have children because they are different species. What do you think about that ending? Suzie Sheep is a character who might leave at the end of the series. Did you know that? Peppa's best friend is a character who dreams of becoming a nurse and flying airplanes. That means she will work and travel a lot in the future. Because of that, her ending could be leaving the town where she lives. Would you like to see that happen? Peppa would miss her friend very much. The subscribe button is right there, waiting for you. How about clicking and keeping up with everything we post? Vampire. Madame Gazelle could very well be captured or destroyed for being a vampire at the end of the series. You know that she is known for being an immortal, magical creature, and nobody likes vampires roaming around freely, especially when it involves having a vampire around children. Would you like to see Madame Gazelle captured by vampire hunters? Mr. Gazelle. Speaking of vampires, we think that Madame Gazelle's husband, who has never appeared in the series to this day, could wake up from his deep vampire sleep, and maybe he isn't such a nice guy. We see a picture of him in Peppa's teacher's house. The question is whether he will be a good vampire or a bad one. Since we're talking about the end of the series, it's very possible that he wakes up and becomes a villain for Peppa to defeat. What do you think about that? Mr. Fox. One sad thing that could happen in the future is Freddy Fox arresting his own father. Everybody knows that Peppa's friend's dream is to become a police officer, but his father, Mr. Fox, is a well-known thief in town. Because of that, it's almost impossible that poor Freddy won't eventually be forced to arrest his dad. That's a pretty heavy situation, but it's the reality of Peppa's world. There are some very intense stories in this universe. Redbeard. One thing that could happen in the future, and that could be bad, is Redbeard the pirate finally finding what he's looking for. Everybody knows that he's a human who keeps sailing around Peppa's town searching for something. We know it's treasure, but if he finds it, that could be bad, because when a pirate gets gold, he uses it to steal even more gold, and that's a very bad thing. Monster. A terrible ending could be the great attack of the sea monster that we know is hiding somewhere in the oceans. We've already seen it in an episode focused on Captain Dog, Danny Dog's father. This sea monster has a chance of becoming the biggest threat in the entire series. Could it attack Peppa's town at the end? Time. Grandpa Rabbit could be a huge revelation at the end of the series for one very simple reason. Have you ever noticed that time doesn't pass in Peppa's world? There have already been more than 6 Christmas episodes, and Peppa is still the same age. Grandpa Rabbit, who is a brilliant scientist, could reveal that he created a machine that freezes time, all because he doesn't want to die, since Grandpa Rabbit himself has said that he is 100 years old. Could everyone be trapped inside Grandpa Rabbit's time trap? Pigs. But if you really want to hear a truly bizarre theory, let's make one thing clear. Peppa could go back to being a normal little pig who walks on 4 legs and doesn't talk, just like the pigs that exist in our real world. The truth is that ever since Evie was born and Mummy Pig appeared on a real television news broadcast, we've wondered whether that could be a clue about the future. The ending of the series could be Peppa transforming into a real pig and showing young fans around the world that animals don't talk. Do you think that would be a good ending for the series? Whatever the truth may be, we'll be here to show it to you, so make sure to stay with us. The fun doesn't stop here. There are 2 amazing videos waiting for you on the screen. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.